Indienne is unique in a way that we do offer 4 different tasting menus. One being vegetarian, another being non-vegetarian, a vegan menu, and a pescatarian menu. Everybody in this kitchen has so many preps needs to be done. It's about being efficient. Getting a Michelin star is not just about having good food. It's also about how precise everything is in terms of taste, balance of dishes. My role currently is to take care of entree section. Chef de partie literally translates to chef of the section. Anything that's coming out of that particular section, it's completely you who's in charge. Good morning, I'm Akshay, chef de partie at Indienne. It's 8:30 in the morning, I have a lot to do, let's go. We are going to start with our paneer dish. So I'm just gonna grab my paneer. It's a really firm Indian cheese. What we're gonna do first is slice these paneers. So this is a paneer roulade. It's basically paneer that's been sliced very thinly. The reason we don't make fresh paneer is fresh paneer tend to be really soft, because if the paneer is firmer, we can actually slice it really thin. We can fill it up with whatever we need. So at Indienne, we do have 4 different menus. This particular dish goes on the vegetarian menu. We want our menu to be more accessible to more people. And in India, we do have a lot of people that follows vegetarian dietary restrictions. There are a lot of other people that's involved in doing this dish. As you can see in the back, we do have a whole team here. This particular paneer dish will at least need 1, 2, 3, 4 people, including me, it's 5 people's hands before that dish hits on the table. Hierarchy-wise, almost everybody's chef de partie. It's just a fancier word of calling a cook a cook. You are in charge of one particular section. When I came in, I started in the cold section. Almost 6 months in, that's when I switched it to entree. Now that I've been in entree for almost 6 months, next probably for me would be sauce station. So we are done with the paneer slicing. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the filling of this particular roulade. This onion paste requires almost 3 hours of making it. So this is something that we do a day before. It has a bunch of different spices that we use. It's been blended. And then the next component is the mix of 3 different nuts. We're using almonds, we're using cashew nut, and we're using pistachio. Cilantro, salt now. Paneer doesn't particularly have any flavor to it. It is more of a textural thing. And paneer has this tendency, no matter how much you try with paneer, paneer doesn't absorb any flavors. We make sure that seasoning is on the higher side. I don't have OCD, but I try to do it. Everything's symmetrical. Getting a Michelin star is not just about having good food. It's also about how precise everything is. We should approach every dish or every action in a more responsible way. Currently in the United States, we have 3 Indian restaurants that has 1 Michelin star. It's about being efficient, because everybody in this kitchen has so many preps needs to be done, because as we know, we do have 4 different menus. Everything that we do should matter. Paneer particularly goes really well with certain combinations. So these flavors, that's something that goes with paneer that we already knew. We're just trying to bring those flavors in a different way. So finally we have something that's visually so different, but at the same time, when it comes to taste, it's something people have eaten before. Trying to bring in like a modern twist to what we are doing. Now I'm going to roll these guys up. I came in early today because this dish particularly takes quite a long time for me to make. This way the kitchen is sort of empty and I have my own piece. I would really want to say it out loud why I know how to roll these ones, but I think I shouldn't. So this is the first roll, and these paneer are going to get rolled again with a Swiss chard. So anything green vegetables goes really well with paneer, as traditionally done. I try to choose the best Swiss chard I can possibly for this dish. And this process needs to be done every day because the color doesn't retain that long. So I'm going to blanch it real quick. Once I make a quick dip, then I put it back in the ice water, shock it so the color retains. The chlorophyll, the moment it hits the cold water, it just brightens up. I do add sugar and salt in this, so the color retention is much better. Chef Sujan knows his colors. It's just not about texture, it's just not about taste, it's also about the color. There will be a little more water left in it, but that sort of keeps the paneer soft. The reason I like tasting menu is it's something that needs to be changed more often than traditional a la carte restaurants. I really like to change up what I'm doing every few months because it's boring. Now these guys are rolled up. I'm gonna chill these guys. So it's 10:30 now. I just got to know the deliveries here. I'm gonna quickly go do the delivery check and then come back. We do have 4 to 5 different vendors. You can put it around here. Every ingredient that comes in is sort of part of everybody's responsibility. It's just not one person's. At that moment in the day, right now, I am the one who's receiving it. So I want to make sure that everything is received the right way. This Morel's just in the season right now. Whenever he has something new, he tries to bring it to us and we try to figure out whether we can do something with it. I do wanted to ask you about the mussels. Where are they from?
They're from Prince Edward Island, so they're Confederation Coast. So super nice, rope grown, real beautiful.
The last time you gave me the Mexican.
Yeah, from Baja, California.
I did use those for the trials.
How'd they go?
For me, it was more the shell that attracted me.
Yeah.
The shell is a beautiful blue color.
Oh yeah.
It's because I'm trying to use that as like a presentation tool.
Let me know how those go. I think it'll be a great fit.
How's your day been?
Good, man. It's been busy. It's bluefin season just opened on the East Coast. So
yeah.
We've been rocking and rolling.
Should be good. Here you go, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.
I do have a turbot that I just received. A turbot is something that I'm trying to work on for the new summer menu. I try to look in the gills. Is it whether it's fresh enough or not, if it's red enough or not. Just looking if there are any bruises in it, making sure the scallops, the shells are completely shot, like just making sure that they are in the right size that we need. It's 11 o'clock right now. I made some time today to work on a new dish. Being a cook is great. You learn a lot, but it comes to a point where you want to start doing your own thing. You start to want to bring your own voice to the picture. Chef Sujin, he's the founder and the head chef of Indienne. He's the soul of the restaurant, basically. This dish is something I want him to taste today. I want him to taste this because the new summer menu is coming in almost in a month's time. I've been working on this for the last almost 4 weeks now. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm trying to make a filling of this. It's going to be filled inside a deep fried batter that's coming out of a siphon. I am in a good space now. That's why today I feel like I can make Chef Sujin taste it. The smell of curry leaf is just amazing. Back home, we have a curry leaf plant. Curry leaf is one of those ingredients that's prominently used in the southern part of India. Curry leaf and coconut oil, the love of my life. Something I would die for. A good coconut oil slaps. It slaps so beautifully. The fat that I'm going to use right now for this dish is coconut oil. I generally go with first the flavors. Once the flavors are in the picture, then I weigh everything out and then create a recipe out of it. And I like to be a little more free-handed when I try to create something. So the ginger that I'm using in America, it's not as strong as Indian gingers are. So we need to use a lot more than what we use generally back in India. I learned that after coming here for sure. I started cooking with it. My chef was like, dude, why aren't you putting enough ginger? I'm making a masala, a dried roast masala, which is basically onions, ginger, curry leaf, along with some Kashmiri chili powder. Kashmiri chili is one of those dried chili powders which has a lot of color in it but doesn't have a lot of heat to it. This is getting blended. I'll go for a little bit of turmeric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute this mussels really quick so that it opens up. 90% of the food that's being made in Kerala uses coconut oil, and that's something that we don't get a lot of chance to show to the world. Traditionally, this dish is made of clams. In Kerala, we have something called toddy shops where they sell coconut liquor, basically. And clam roast is something that it's eaten in those toddy shops a lot. It sums up Kerala's all the flavors. For me, I'm just using mussels in this scenario is because when I came to Chicago, that's when I was actually introduced to mussels for the first time. What I've realized is Americans and somebody who's from India tasting that dish should both be able to relate to this idea. I can quickly open these guys up and take it out. Inspiration for me with these shells. The beautiful blue tinge that you see inside is something that inspired me to want to create something out of this as my plate. So once that's done, there's the liquid that comes out of it. I'm going to reuse this liquid in the sauce. The flavors of the mussel stays in the dish itself. Because it's a filling, I don't need the texture per se, it's the flavor that matters to me. Hi, so my truffle guy is right now here. How you doing, man? What do you got today? We do get raw truffles almost 2 days in the week.
So this just arrived.
Every time that he gets the best, he just comes to us first. At least that's what he tells us.
I mean, look at this. What's better than this? These are Italians, Umbria, summer, black.
So generally we do take around 2 pounds of it. I try to take the smallest guys out, to be honest with you. I don't like the big ones because the smaller ones are much easier for me to work with.
I do this in Chicago for 10 years. But the family, Caporici, is doing that for 4 generations. That's all yours. Pleasure is mine. Have a great day.
So we're going to get back at the R&D. I'm just going to quickly finish this, guys, because my time is running out. I have literally 10 minutes left on my clock right now to finish this dish up. This should be good. Now the mussel is sort of incorporated in the basic masala, that's how I call it. The shells just look too beautiful to just throw them away. So this batter was made in the morning. It needs to be freshly made and it has to be really precise. We are basting it right now. The thing with R&D is it's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know what I'm looking forward. If there are ideas in my head, I'm trying to bring it all together. Now we can get Chef Sujan right now.
So,
Hey Chef, how are you doing, Chef?
good.
How was your trip? Are you
Good.
This is a snack that I was thinking by itself in the beginning of the course. I know it might need a little more acid. It might need something more, I understand.
It's crunchy, the filling is good. We need some chutney on top. Some chutney on top, who's gonna give you the...
Yeah, like a coconut or tomato chutney, that's sort of acid.
The acid for the color as well, for the presentation. And then if we add a little bit of, small caviar, and then some edible flowers.
Just elevate a little more, but yeah.
But the flavors are great. As I said, I'm keep eating. See, the breakfast with the mussel bun is good.
For me right now, I'm happy at least the fact that he likes the flavors. He likes the idea that I had. I was able to translate that. I think that's a good start for me. I feel really satisfied about it. So it's 1 o'clock now. It's the time for the reservation meeting. It's pretty much what we get to know how to go about the day, the restrictions that needs to be followed today.
For tonight, we have about 10 vegetarians, 34 non-vegetarians, no pescatarians, no vegan as of now, and 9 pescatarians. And there's one guest lactose intolerant, but butter is okay. So we do scallops without balcho butter and green pea puree instead of the cauliflower puree, and sea bass to be finished without butter on the top.
So this meeting is with the entire back of the house so that everybody exactly knows what they need to do.
For tomorrow, we have about 96 covers with 88 tasting and 8 top prefix. Friday, we are at 118. Gourmet botanicals has been ordered. It's on the way. It might come about 5 p.m.-ish. So be ready for the last moment preparations. And let's have good service, guys. Thank you.
I'm just got done with my reservation meeting. I need to now move because I have easy 2 hours to finish all my prep and then move to my service. So I'm gonna start cleaning my scallop now. These are from Boston. So where we use this is in our non-veg tasting menu. I clean these bad boys up. So the shells is then reused again. We use the shells as sort of the plateware for this particular dish. So shellfish allergy is one of those most prominent allergies. Any utensils I'm using, I'm not using that anywhere else. Right now, everything that I do would be only seafood. So now I'm just gonna rinse these scallops in cold water so that all the dirt that's on it can be quickly taken off. There's an extra muscle that's always attached to the scallop. We tend to take that out because as soon as it hits the pan, that tends to tighten up real quicker than the other parts of the muscle. So basically I'm arranging these bad boys for the service because I know exactly how many I need. Just before the service, I take them out and then I cook them. So now I'm done with scallops. The next thing I'm gonna go for is sea bass. Just make sure that every seafood prep is done together. It is specifically for the pescatarian menu. So this is the sea bass I've got. I'm basically gonna remove the center bone. It's a huge bone. I tried to get the most out of it where I'm not wasting it out. So now this bone actually gets all the way here. I'm trying to get at least 3 different roulades out of this.
This is your second roulade dish.
It is. I think I am on a roll. What I'm gonna do is take out a little bit on the sides so that it just curves in. And take the clean wrap. So the idea about making this roulade, we do it a day prior. We keep it overnight in a chiller so that it retains the shape that we need. We're trying to create a circular shape on it so that when we sear it, it's this sort of like a circle that's on the plate. So now I'm just gonna tightly wrap these guys. So, as you can see, it's taking a shape of a cylinder. Once this is tied up, I take a cake tester. We just take the excess water. So as you can see, the excess water comes out of it. At the same time, if there is any excess air that sort of pockets, comes out of it. And that way, when it's cooked right. We're going to vacuum pack this and then sous vide it. And then finish it with searing the meat. So it's 4 o'clock now. I have a lot of things to be done. I need to set my station up. I'm gonna grab everything that I need for my setup. If without these guys, I am screwed, and if I don't collect these guys before the service starts, during the service, it's just going to be chaotic as hell. It's pretty much all the trays that I need for the setup. So if I'm using blue, if any seafood that needs to be handled, I use this to be handled. Any red meat that needs to be handled, I use this. Setting up station is something that's very personal. So everybody has their own way of setting their stations up. So even the same station is not set up the same way by two different people. So when I try to organize things, there is precise places where I keep my stuff. It's always in the same place so that it's the muscle memory that comes into the picture.
Do you ever hide one or set it later?
We sometimes do hide one or two things. You gotta do what you gotta do. And you have to be ready for service regardless of what it is. This is one of the final prep that I need to do before my service starts. This is basically squash blossoms. Because this is very delicate, the grilling needs to be done really precisely because otherwise the flour gets ruined completely. So these goes with the sea bass. I'm gonna make a filling that's made of crab. So this is basically onions that's been cooked with a lot of black pepper and curry leaf and ginger. I'm gonna add the crab mix to this. I'm gonna fill it in a piping bag. I'm gonna fill my zucchini blossoms with these and then give it to the grill section so that I can grill it and pass it back to me before the service starts. This is Chef Sonu. Hey bro, how you doing?
Yes.
So he's the one, he's in charge of the grill. So it's almost the time for the service. I'm just portioning the fish that I did earlier on. Searing of some scallops. So as soon as I'm done with this, we'll be doing the final tasting and then it's the service time.
So before we start the service, we test each and every sauces, also few other things which cannot be rectified later. A little too sweet. Also the color, a little more bright. Maybe touch of chili, just touch. And the pani puri is too sweet. So rest everything is okay. Let's get back to service.
For the pani puri, since it was sweet, we add some chaat masala, black salt, a little bit more of acid. That's how we rectify it in the next 30 minutes. And then our service starts.
So it's 5 o'clock. It's time for my service to start now. I would ask you to kindly leave. Thank you so much for spending the day with me.